Welcome back everybody to a brand new video of the dentist Saad channel. My name is featured in Saad, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Now, as many of you know, I have recently started my 4th year of dentistry, and to celebrate my 4th year of dentistry, I was actually just looking around the other day, cleaning the apartment and everything, and guess what I found? I found this sheet of paper. Now, what might be special about this sheet of paper? It has all of the details of what I went through in 1st year, from before applying to the subjects, to what happens if you fail an exam, to all that sort of stuff. I will list all of that stuff right over here, so feel free to jump around the video. The timestamps will be in the description. I had a little read through this paper and it brought back so many memories of what 1st year of dentistry was like at Plovdiv Medical University. So I felt like I needed to make a video of it, especially for all of you new applicants who have been messaging me on Instagram, asking all the questions. If you do have any questions, message me on Instagram. I'm always happy to help. Now, let's get into the first point. Now, the first thing that I've written on this paper is things that you should bring from the UK. So I hope it's still not too late and you guys haven't already come to Bulgaria. If you have, well, next time when you go back to the UK, you can bring these stuff with you, but I'm sure you probably realize that you need these anyway. If you haven't, well, this video is for you. So let's start off with the first thing I've written on there is you need a universal adapter. If you've been to Bulgaria already, or if you've spoken to anyone, you will have realized that in Bulgaria we have the 2-plug adapters. So the 3-plug adapters from the UK, you can't use them in Bulgaria unless you have an adapter to convert them from 3 plugs into 2 plugs. I don't know what the actual word for it is, but I'm gonna call it plugs. Here's a picture to show you what they're supposed to look like. But I also recommend, along with the adapter, which I do not have on the list, is you can bring one of the extensions with you from the UK. So you connect the extension to the adapter and adapter to the socket, and then you have a whole load of UK compatible plugs. The next thing I recommend on the list, you could get that here, but if you bring it from the UK, it makes it much easier, especially in the first few days. This is an iron. Now, you could buy an iron in Bulgaria, obviously. It's not like there aren't any irons available, but when you come in the first week or so of being here, you're not going to know how to even say iron, okay? You're not going to know where to look for an iron, and if you need to wear clothes and you're just wearing clothes that are crunched up, you're not going to really look good. So I would recommend just bringing an iron with you from the beginning, so you can just iron your clothes and relax. Another really important thing that you should have brought with you from the UK is a water filter. Now, the water in Bulgaria is actually hard water, meaning that it is full of calcium carbonate. When you start boiling water in your kettle, you'll see all of the calc foam at the bottom of your kettle. And then you will realize that this water you really should not be drinking, because it's going to cause a lot of problems for you. So you either have to buy bottled water, which is effort bringing it back home from the shops, because they have these big 11-liter bottles here. I'll show you what it looks like right here. So you're actually going to have to deal with those 11-liter bottles, or you can just have your water filter jug that you can get from the UK, from Amazon or eBay, really cheap. I'll put some links in the description if you really want to buy them. Now, when it comes to the food that you should bring, you might be thinking, why do you need to bring some food? Because some of the things that you might be used to in the UK might not be available in Bulgaria, or might be named something else, which might be really difficult for you to find. So I recommend bringing the following things with you from the UK. I recommend bringing the masala boxes with you, especially if you do not know how to cook, because with the masala boxes, they actually have the recipes on the back as well, so you could actually learn how to cook by yourself at home without any help. I also recommend bringing tea bags with you. They have a lot of tea in Bulgaria, but it's all flavored tea, like cherry tea, lemon tea. They don't have the original tea, which I don't understand why, but it's just a thing. Something that I have on the list, which I don't think you need anymore, is rice. By rice, I mean mainly basmati rice, which is used for making biryani and things like that. That sort of rice is actually now available in Bulgaria, so it's not a necessity for you to bring with you. So it's up to you if you want to bring rice with you. I'd say it's not really necessary anymore. Another thing I've written on the list is that you need to bring frozen food with you, which I still agree with till this day. During exam season, you are not gonna have time to sit there after going to uni all day long to come back home, cook, and then after that study for your exams. Even when you don't have uni, you have so much to cover, so much content to cover for the exam that you're not going to have time to make a proper meal for yourself. So in those cases, it's really helpful to have some frozen food that you've saved over that you can just have during your exam season. So either bring that when you go back on holidays with you, or you can just cook it beforehand and then put it in the freezer while you're in Bulgaria. But obviously that takes time once again, and you have uni to take care of. Now moving more towards what you need to bring for your studies, your lab coat. You can get a lab coat here actually in Bulgaria. This was in first year. Remember, I made this paper in first year when I knew nothing. So you can get your lab coat in Bulgaria actually. There's actually a lab coat shop on the University Road as you are traveling down towards Mikhail coffee shop. So you can just ask someone, where's Mikhail's coffee shop? And completely on the opposite side of the road, you will see that there's a huge lab coat store where you can buy lab coats. So I don't think you really need to bring it from the UK. If you already have one from the UK, bring it obviously, so you don't need to buy one. But if you do not have one, do not worry, you can just buy one right here. Another thing I have on the list is that you need to bring your anatomy atlas with you. Now, this I'm a bit iffy with. It's nice if you have your anatomy atlas with you because you can use it in class. But nowadays, thanks to technology, we don't really need an anatomy atlas. And what I found helps more, I would say just download the app called Teach Me Anatomy. I've done a whole video on apps that you need for dental school. It also applies to medical students if you are one. So I would recommend check that video out here. Or you can click on that video at the end of this video. But yeah, it's about all the apps that you need. And one of those apps which is perfect for anatomy is called Teach Me Anatomy. If you have the app, I really do not think that you need to buy a book. And it's just going to save you a whole lot of money and a whole lot of time. Bring your biology and chemistry notes from the UK that you've done in A-levels. Especially because in the first year of our uni, it's sort of a year where, because there's people coming from so many different countries, they do a little bit on the introduction of biology, chemistry and all of those. So if you have your notes from the UK, it really helps out, and you can just use those and just go over them and have a chill time. You'd find it really easy. Which also means if you have those notes, you don't really need to make notes in class, and you will find it so much easier and get really good grades. Now the next thing I've written on the sheet is about the exams. I've only written something really short about the exams. I don't know why. I could have written more detail, but I don't even remember it now. So I've written that in first term we had five final exams, which are normally in January, and then in the second term we had 6 final exams, which is in the summertime, which is around June, July time. The next thing I've written is how to make the most of your time at university, study-wise. The first thing on the list is preparation. I've written that you should go to every lecture. I still agree with most of this. I've written that you should go to every lecture and make notes only on the important points. It's what I've been doing from day one. The next thing I've written is that you should attend all of your practicals and your lectures. When you come to uni, some teachers will tell you from the beginning that their lectures are not compulsory. This means that you do not have to attend. But understand when they say you do not have to attend, but it's better if you do attend, because these teachers, they will notice people that attend, and they will be a bit more lenient with those people. As well as that, in the lectures, the teachers will say and write stuff on the whiteboard which aren't in the lecture. These things are generally what come up exactly in the exam. So it's really good, especially in your first years, for you to go to the lectures and actually write down the stuff that the teacher writes down on the whiteboard, or write down what you hear from them rather than just what you see on the lecture. The lectures will be available for you at home anyway, but it's all of that extra stuff which is why you go to the lecture, and that extra stuff is what's going to help you get the top marks and help you pass your exams. Another point I've written is you can use YouTube for your anatomy and chemistry videos. I think I wrote this before my exams clearly, because when I did my actual anatomy exams, the way that I studied all the points on each and every single bone of the body is, what I did first is I used Teach Me Anatomy to properly learn all of the anatomy using just the pictures. Then when we went into lessons, I would grab the bone, point at different parts and say what those parts on the bone were while my friend were recording. So we would record ourselves pointing at each part of the bone, and then we would use that to study. We would send it to each other, and we would just keep going over that video and listen to it and try to repeat exactly what we see in that video with the volume down. and eventually it would come to us and we'd be like, yes, we've done it, we know this bone. Next bone. That way we learned every single bone inside the body, and it made it so much easier. The next point is results. Now the results for exams would they differ for each exam. It depends on the department and how quickly they do it and how many students they have, because some subjects are only dental subjects, so obviously they would have fewer people, whereas other subjects are dental and medical, so then it becomes a lot of people and it takes a bit longer for them to get the results out. But the results do come relatively soon, I would say within 1 or 2 months, not longer than that. The next point on the list is failure. Now a lot of people ask me this question all the time, like, what happens if I fail an exam? Am I going to get kicked out of the uni immediately? Actually no. Here's how a uni works. In every single year you have a certain number of non-compulsory exams, which if you fail you are allowed to carry on to the next year and then resit them next year in the reset session. These are for the non-compulsory exams, but your teachers will tell you from the beginning which are the non-compulsory and which are compulsory. As for the compulsory exams, you have to pass those exams to move on to the next year. In first year, I think we are allowed to carry on 2 non-compulsory exams to the next year if we had failed them. So then in second year, in the reset session in September time, I think, we could resit the first year exams that we had failed and pass them. But normally people tend to pass on their first or second attempt of resetting. So honestly, do not worry, you're not going to get kicked out of uni. Just work your best and you're going to be fine. What you should do if you haven't joined the uni yet. I've written this here and I still agree with it. You should definitely start learning the bones of the skull if you're a dental student and the bones of the rest of the body if you're a medical student before you even come to uni. Now why am I saying this? Some people think that, the skull, it doesn't have that many points, it's a small part of the body, but you would actually be mistaken and very wrong, because there are actually 22 bones in the skull, and each and every single bone has around 20 to 30 points that you need to memorize on them. So this adds up to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points that you have to memorize. So when you have an exam on bones of the skull and you haven't studied until the night before, it is going to be really tough. So I highly recommend start from as soon as you can. Use the website Teach Me Anatomy and you will do amazing in this subject. The final point I've written on here is about free time. Now in first semester of first year we had a lot more free time than we did in second semester. Now looking back on it, obviously I feel like the whole year was really chill. But when I was back in that moment, which I'm going to put my mindset back into, we had a lot more free time in our first semester than we did in our second semester. We have PE, physical education, like that is a subject. All you're going to be doing is playing sports. That is basically free time. But also, as I mentioned earlier, your first semester is basically them trying to get all the students that come from Greece, from Italy, from India, from the UK, from the United States. There's people from all around the world coming to Bulgaria to study. So obviously they're trying to make sure that everyone has the same level of knowledge before they can proceed with all of the detailed dental and medical subjects. Well, that was a trip through memory lane. I hope you guys did enjoy this video with me, and if you did and you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, what are you doing? Because we're trying to hit 500 subscribers this year, and I would really appreciate if you could be one of those 500 special subscribers. My name is Saad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go.